Hi, welcome to the Freeman Conversations. I'm Gilbert Ocal, the online editor of the Freeman, and I'm sitting with three of the most successful examinees of the 2017 Bar examinations. These are graduates of the University of San Carlos School of Law and Governance, placing 2nd, 4th, and 7th place in the 2017 Bar. In 2nd place, Christiane May Balili, right here on my side. Of course, next to her is 4th placer, Ivan Delore Hisoler, and of course, in 7th place, Relan Cervasio. And of course, joining us is one of the faculty members of the School of Law and Governance here in San Carlos, Attorney Daryl Brech Largo. Of course, the husband of the Dean of the School of Law, Attorney Joan Largo. Again, congratulations to the three of you.
Thank you.
Congratulations for making the Carolinian community proud. Attorney, congratulations once again. I'm sure you've had a huge congratulations since last week, and we're very glad that we can finally have you all to ourselves. Last week, many media organizations, of course, talked to you, spoke to you. I've watched you live, and you were being interviewed here in the School of Law. All three of you seem to be a little bit overwhelmed that day when the bar results came in.
Until now.
Until now. Okay. So you were asked last week what you want to specialize in. Have you already thought about that? It's been 5 days? 4 days.
So that was your assignment.
Your assignment.
As to me, I think I'll do litigation for now. I find it really challenging for now. So I think that's what I'm going to pursue.
When you say litigation, what does that entail?
Court appearances. You represent clients in court. You appear before the court, advocating for a certain client.
Criminal law? Are you inclined toward criminal law?
Criminal law, civil law, anything. Basta litigation.
Well, if you are number 2 in the bar exams, you can do almost anything, right?
I hope so. I hope so.
Let's ask number 4, Ivan.
Well, I'd like to try litigation also. I'd like to, while I was a student in the University of San Carlos, I was also working in a law office at the same time. So I had experience in drafting pleadings, and this time I wanna see the process through. I wanna see how I do in court, and I wanna see how to deal with clients and fellow lawyers in the profession.
Well,
right now, my inclination is towards tax practice and commercial law. Currently, I'm in SGV, and we are specializing in taxation in that firm. Yes. In tax practice, we look at the tax implications of various transactions, business transactions of our clients, and we help them. We advise them how to lessen their taxes, or find ways on how they could maximize or make efficient their processes as to reduce the taxes that they pay, or maybe troubleshoot their tax problems. That's what we do there in the firm.
they say that that area of law is the less exciting. Is it true? Is that notion true?
For me, for me, actually, I find it fun, or I find it very practical of a field, because there you get to see how law works in a business environment.
Okay.
So it's very practical, because it's geared towards business transactions, and yeah, it's really very realistic of a practice. Yes.
Before, of course, you passed the bar, you were already working. Well, you were still working. In fact, you just came from work before this interview. Of course, Christiane, you are connected at this point in time with what firm?
Right now, I'm with Akron.
Okay. And Ivan?
I'm with my uncle in his law office. It's a small practice.
I'd have to ask Attorney Daryl, did you expect these faces to top the bar?
Oh yes, definitely. In fact, to be honest, we also expected other students also to land in the top 10. But maybe this is God's design that we will have only 3. So I was really expecting. We were really expecting, because this is one of the strongest batches we have in law school. So as to that question, yes, every one of these I did expect them to place in top 10.
In San Carlos, when your students take the bar, do you tell them, this is what we expect from you, you're top of the class, we want you to top the bar? Do you give them that kind of pressure?
Professors don't actually verbally say all those things, but even the dean won't. But I think they would know that being in the top of the class also would mean that they also are expected to perform well in the bar exam. Christian, for example, is the class valedictorian, and Evan is also the class valedictorian in the LLB program. Raylan is in the top 10 of the LLB program. These are top students, so I really expected them to top in the bar exam.
Did you have the same expectations of yourselves?
No, of course not.
Why not?
Well, we really targeted to be in the top 10. I believe so all of us did, especially those who are at the top of the class. And somehow we use that as positive pressure and motivation on our part to do good for ourselves, for this school, for our family. We really aim to be in the top 10. And it's just that we did not really expect to actually land in the top 10, although we really did our best to get in.
To add, it's just really a humble hope that we will land in the top 10. But we do our best to, of course, become lawyers. But just with humble hope.
That's a very humble way of putting it.
Yeah, because really topping the bar would actually be considered more of a blessing also as well. Of course, everyone will really aspire. If we are to be honest, really, I don't think one who's in the top 10 of his class would just say, I just want to pass the bar. No, I think to be honest, all those students would really aspire as well. But of course, it's all God's decision in the end.
What kind of pressure is it, if any, taking the bar coming from the University of San Carlos? Because last year, a graduate landed number 1, right? What kind of pressure did it give you, if any?
Well, positive pressure, if I may say so. The performance last year was really stellar. Many of them landed in the top 10 and passing rate of 100%. So I think I'm talking for everyone in the batch when I say that we were really pressured to do good also this year, to represent the school this year. So it is a positive pressure. I think that helped us, the pressure helped us.
Personally, I felt enormous pressure. I can remember last year when the results came out for last year's batch. The rating was at 100%, and there was someone in top 1. So
Yeah.
so I thought, how could we match that? So every one of us, because we reviewed in Manila, I think most of us thought we really needed to land in the top 10 so that we don't disappoint, and so that yeah, so
And it wasn't just the law school. In many other licensure examinations, San Carlos also did
Yeah.
very well last year.
yes so there was much pressure, but I think it really helped.
Well then,
Yes.
were you pressured in any way?
The pressure is actually to pass, of course, because what would happen if you're just the one who didn't pass of your entire batch? So
Okay.
that's really the pressure there.
And that can happen, right?
Yes, that could happen. I think there's a school here in the Philippines who actually had that. But of course, for us, we really aimed for 100% because last year it was really a very outstanding performance for that batch. It was
Yeah.
such a great pressure on our part.
Yeah.
And so we really had to do our best to give it our all and do the same thing. Although we weren't able to get 100%, still we had a very great performance. Come to think about it, which is the passing rate is 25.5%
Yeah.
nationwide. If you got a 93%, that's still very good.
Yeah.
And to God be the glory for that.
And of course, we also had two other Cebuano graduates from the University of Cebu and University of San Carlos who also made it to the
San-
top 20.
San-
San Jose,
San-
San Jose.
Yes.
San Jose Recolectors who also made it to the top 20, and we'll be speaking with those two also within the week. If we can just go back memory
Congratulations
lane.
to them.
Congratulations to them, of course, yes. If we can just walk down memory lane, what attracted you to the law in the first place?
I think the practicality of it. I learned that law is applicable in I think it's safe to say all areas of our lives, and it's it's really useful in our everyday dealings. So that's what attracted me to law.
If I may just modify my question a bit, what attracted you to the law in the first place, realizing or knowing the kind of justice system we have here in the Philippines? Sure, go ahead.
I never really thought of it that way.
Mhm.
When I started out, it was just a one day at a time journey for me.
Mhm.
I never thought of my taking up law vis-a-vis the justice system in the Philippines. I think that's too big of an area to consider,
Mhm.
and practically speaking, you're not even sure if if law is the right path for you. So for me, I just took it step by step. So I think that's a good way to go about it.
Mhm. Well,
Well, actually, my intention was to take up medtech and then proceed to medicine. But in a sudden
happened along
course
the
of
way?
events, it changed. So I got the accountancy track, and then my father wanted to be a lawyer, and since he couldn't do it anymore, he persuaded me to take up law. Although it was not really my passion, over time I learned to adapt to it and love it, and here I am right now.
how far into law school did you learn to eventually love studying law?
I really appreciated law when I was already in my fourth year, when I already
Wow.
get to reflect all of the ramifications of the laws, because you already have a full appreciation, the full picture of the study of law in fourth year, and it's because in the first, second, and third year I was just riding with a course with tides, and I just started to adapt to it, and then little by little you get to appreciate it till you see the full picture, and there's where you appreciate it. Yes, so that's what happened to my schooling.
Your journey,
Yes.
Christian.
As to me, I've always looked up to lawyers and the law profession. I think lawyers occupy a really distinct and a very distinct stature in the community in such a way that they can influence a lot of people. If they want to do good, then they can really influence other people also to do good. I've always looked up to the law profession, to lawyers. I think it's one of the greatest achievements one can have in his lifetime to be a lawyer. So I was thinking then that if there is still time and chance for you to achieve something, why not achieve the highest that you can? Why not become the best that you could be? So it started with that, and then I had a few family members who are also lawyers. They also inspired me. They sparked my interest in law school.
But have you always wanted to be a lawyer?
Yes, when I was much younger, before I decided to take up accountancy in college, I already wanted to become a lawyer. But somehow along the way, when I was a practicing CPA, my interest in law school faded because I liked so much being a CPA. But then eventually, when I resigned from my job in an accounting firm, my interest in law school ibalik pa. So it sparked again ang interest in law school. So I enrolled in the first year, and while I was right, I really liked being in law school. I like the discipline. I like the new knowledge. I like everything that I was learning. So I stayed and I graduated, and here I am.
You graduated second
Yes, I graduated.
salutatorian. What about?
That I always want to be a lawyer in the
Yes.
first place. No, like Roland, I also wanted to be a doctor. In fact, I'm a registered nurse.
Mm.
So, and I don't know, after graduating from nursing, I thought the medical field was not for me. I did not like the irregular hours, and yeah.
But doesn't lawyering also allows you to have regular working hours?
But I think it's
Probably not.
it's
Not
more
much.
about not really. It's really generally office hours. It really involves office hours only, compared to doctors who don't get much sleep. So, and like I said in the earlier interviews, an uncle encouraged me to try out law, and I realized I love the law. So
This is where you belong.
yes.
Relen, of course, and Christiane have accountancy backgrounds as a preparatory course.
Yes.
You had nursing, attorney. The common notion is that accountancy is one of the best preparatory courses going into law school. Is that correct?
There is really no hard and fast rule as to your background. I think even those who had taken up courses from engineering, from medicine, performed very well in the in law school. The edge probably of certified public accountants or CPAs is that they had already taken up board exams, and
Okay.
they must have already at least experienced more or less the same pressure.
I see.
Secondly, of course, I'm not an accountant, but accounting, my impression is that it involves a lot of analysis, logical thinking. Probably most CPAs have that skill already, so going into law school, that would already be very advantageous for them. But I think the CPAs can speak
Yes,
well.
yes.
And, yes, because I'm a political science graduate, so all I do is talk.
Let's ask the accountants. Did that give you a certain edge? Nursing also, you had
The board exam,
Board
yeah.
exam.
Board exams,
So
yes.
let's ask a general question. Did your experience in the board exam give you a certain edge in taking the bar? You have already experienced a certain amount of pressure before, the discipline of studying. How did it help you when you were preparing for the bar?
I'd say it helped a lot. Preparing for the CPA board exam was really also stressful. It requires a lot of diligence on your part, a lot of discipline, and it practiced you to be able to manage expectations of others, to be able to manage pressure, to be able to handle your time well, to be able to make the most of the little time that you have, and not to succumb to pressure during the exams, to remain calm during the exams. So that experience in itself is very helpful already during our bar review and our bar exams.
What about you guys?
As a fellow CPA, together with my I can just add a few points to what she
Of
said.
course,
It's
yes,
just
yes.
a matter of for us in the accountancy course, we have the eliminating exams as well. Every year we have that in the USC accountancy program we have SAM 1, SAM 2, SAM 3, SAM 4. That's every year, and the pressure is being kept at a certain level for students to do their best each and every year. And as the accountancy student gets to have a discipline already in his study habits, he gets to develop it. That really helps you a lot. Not only in the board exams, but even if you have a postgraduate course like the law course, that really helps you because you already have an edge. You're already able to develop a study habit or the discipline on or skills on how you manage your time. That's what you said, to handle the pressure, both to yourself and with others. And that really helps a lot. Even in the bar exam proper, when you already take the bar exams, it's I don't know if my peers or my paneras would agree, but you already know it's different if you already had a prior feeling of taking an exam, a licensure exam.
Yeah. That's
My hands don't shake anymore. I think compared with others, but it's their first time to take a licensure exam.
Yes.
Such a very big exam as compared to us who's already for a second time. So I think it's really an advantage for us.
You agree also?
Yes.
larger board exam also.
Yeah, I think it's the same, basically the same for me. You find out. Yes.
Just to interject a bit, you finish your nursing degree from
Super
Normal University, and CNU also gives a lot of pressure to their
Yes.
nursing
Yes.
graduates
Yes.
to really do well in the board.
Yes. So yeah, well, not just the board examinations. I can say the schools themselves. Like when I was in nursing, because I was trained in Cebu Normal University. So the school exams themselves prepare you for the board exams. So you learn what works for you, and you learn how to manage your time, and you learn how to handle the pressure. So it's the same also in law school. The University of San Carlos trains the students well. So I think it helps all of us.
Christian, you made a good point earlier. The ability not to succumb to pressure
Yes.
during the exam. How do you exactly do that? And attorney, maybe you can help answer this question. Having trained future lawyers, and as a lawyer yourself, how do you not succumb to pressure? When you come from a university like San Carlos, expectations are way up there.
Yes, we understand that there's really high expectations among us USC graduates, but what helped us to remain calm and not to succumb to pressure is just faith in ourselves. We just have to trust in ourselves that we already have what it takes to make it in the bar exam. So we're trained already for 4 years in the school. Our school is well equipped. We have very good teachers. So given that, we already have a certain amount of confidence that allows us to believe in ourselves. And of course, you also have to pray, of course, for confidence, for calmness. It's very important really when you take the bar exam to remain calm, because you may know the answer, but if you are pressured, you are not calm, then your mind will be clouded. You will not be able to put it in writing.
Or worse, you forget everything you've studied.
That's the worst thing
Mental
that
block,
can happen.
yeah.
Yes. So I think having faith in yourself, having faith in God, things will really work out the best for you. It will really help you to remain calm.
Same with you both?
Yes.
How do you not succumb to pressure?
Yes, as what she said, we exactly have the same approach. It's just that really, as Dean John keeps on telling us, have faith in the quality of legal education that USC had provided to you. Because had we not trusted you that you will pass the bar exam, we would have not let you graduate. USC law is very, very hard.
I heard,
That
yeah.
4 years is just so terse, and amid all of those obstacles, just have faith. You've graduated in USC law, and have faith in the legal education that we have provided to you. And of course, you also have to pray a lot, because what is confidence if we don't have God to help us? That's it. And then, most of all, have faith in yourself. You can do it. Yes. So those are the three things. So, have faith in the legal education that USC provides. Have faith in God, and have faith in yourself.
Ivan, your
Well,
thoughts?
yeah, and just like them, I trust the training that we had here in the university, and I think one thing that I could add is, because we have already experienced mock bar examinations here in the school, so it's not at all different when you already take the bar exams, because for me, I don't know if it's the same for you. So I don't think of it as as something really big when I took the bar exams. I just thought of it as any other examination, just like what we underwent while we were in law school. So yeah, so I think that's how
Also
you.
mind conditioning on
Yeah.
your part.
Yes. So to make it I don't know, simple for you and to not pressure yourself too much, just think of it as any other exam because it's just an exam.
Very good points. Attorney,
Yes, I share the same comments actually, but if I may add, not only did we prepare them really for the bar exam, but we're also thankful that the university, the administration, and the entire Carolina School of Law community had been very cooperative. We have a very good also bar operations
support system.
support
they need,
system,
yeah.
and I think this kind of cooperation from support system, not only from the students and the administration, helped a lot, and that probably eased a bit the pressure. And true, the dean had been very clear about letting them graduate. That is really a symbolism that they were ready to take on the challenge. So if you only have to trust in yourself, having graduated from the University of San Carlos, then that must have already eased a little bit of the pressure. It's just a matter of time, and of course, with the help of God, that we'll be able to pass. In fact, we are also relying on the fact that apart from the dean having constant communication also with the candidates before they took up the fourth year and after and before taking the bar. So there had been constant communication, and I think that kind of leadership on the part of our dean helped the candidates also a lot. And
Were there instances, attorney, when you advise graduates not to take the bar just yet?
I cannot speak for the dean because actually when before they graduate, I think they will be asked to, I don't know, maybe the dean will tell them their standing,
Okay.
and maybe they have to do more. Well, I don't know how this is being done, but they have what we have here, what we call some sort of an exit evaluation,
Okay.
where the dean will speak to them one
One by one.
and I don't know actually what's going on. They can speak probably what's going on.
Yes. Are there? What happens during the exit interview? At least here in San Carlos.
It was the day before the graduation.
The day before.
Yeah, the day before the graduation, as I said earlier, we had mock bar examinations, right? So we were shown our test
I
results,
see.
yeah,
Okay.
and we were shown the computation, and because we know how the bar exam scores are computed, right? So we were shown if you passed the mock bar examinations in general, and you are shown your weak subjects, and we were asked where we plan to review, what materials we were planning to use. So
In other words, I don't think the dean will ever tell a candidate, a graduate, for a candidate for graduation not to take the bar, because my thinking is that the moment we have decided that you will graduate,
You must be
we
ready.
know that you must be ready. But probably the dean will just remind you of probably your big subject, or because of the I remember
Exit
the mock
exams.
bar exam results.
Is it true, just to because I've heard a lot of that USC law does not have its own review program per se after graduation, that
Yeah.
your graduates can just choose wherever they want to review?
We used to have review centers here in USC, but we had a problem with, number one, inviting our own students also to review with us, because in most cases students would prefer to have new faces, new reviewers, and this is also the challenge there because most students also would prefer to review in Manila so that they get
You get the feel,
the feeling
of
already
yeah.
rather than having your review here. Although you were reviewing in Manila. I think.
Manila.
Where did you guys review?
I was in San Beda.
Okay.
I reviewed in UP.
I reviewed in Ateneo.
So that's the problem also. So we thought that it wasn't practical to have a review center here because anyway our own students would be flying to Manila. So we stopped the review center in partnership with other review centers. I think 3 or 4 years ago now. But we used to have review centers.
I see. Because that seems to be what amazes many. Despite the School of Law and having its own review program, the graduates still manage to top the bar. So
Well, actually, the 4th year in law school is a review year.
Okay.
Actually, it's a review
Okay.
year already. The foundational courses are offered in the first 3 years, and when you're already in the 4th year, all your subjects are review subjects actually. So civil law review, criminal law review. So actually, they had review classes with us.
Okay.
Except that postgraduate, we don't offer review classes anymore. They won't be. They don't want to see a similar faces.
Okay. Speaking of, because we talked about the support system that San Carlos has for its bar reviewers and bar takers, there is an ongoing move to regionalize the bar exams, to decentralize, to bring the bar exam closer to the takers. What's your stand on this? What are the benefits if this will push through? That you can take the bar here in Cebu or any other place in the country?
Well, the very first benefit will be you will already be comfortable. You'll feel comfortable already because we've been here in Cebu for how many years. So if the bar exam will be conducted here, we don't have to adjust to the environment. Manila is not you cannot easily adjust in the Manila environment. It's hard to adjust there.
It's not exactly a place made in heaven.
Yes, precisely. That's correct. So I think it will really be beneficial for us if you're already comfortable with the environment, if you are familiar with the battleground, then you don't have to adjust as to those aspects. You can just concentrate on studying. In addition, you don't have to incur additional costs.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
costly there. Everybody knows that. And another thing, you don't know anyone there. Most people there are strangers. You go out of the library, of your review center, of your dorm, you don't know the people in the streets. You can't even trust them. So that can add to your anxiety actually during the bar review. So if you're in a familiar place, that will really help us. So,
What do you guys think?
I think I agree with mine. You get to save on the expenses and the comfort that. Well, for me, because I'm from Cebu, my family is here, so it's nice to have your support system near you, and you're familiar with the place. And I think on the exam days, you won't have to worry about your travel time, and going home because
That's right.
each Sunday is very exhausting, and it would have been more nice if we
The travel time was just spent sleeping.
yeah it would have been nice to go home after
Yeah.
every Sunday.
Right. Well,
Actually, the first thing in my mind was actually the cost because I reviewed it at Ateneo. It's really very costly there.
yeah. Not to mention, just going to law school is already very costly in
Yes,
itself.
and then even the review is still very costly. The space, the food, everything there is costly. Because especially it's in Rockwell area.
Right. Yeah.
It's very costly. But then also, in addition to that, is what they've said also, it's really the familiarization of the place. Because we're not really so familiar with Manila. You get to have a home court advantage if you're here. So you get to know how many minutes does it travel from your place to the examination area.
Right.
Things like those. Very small, but really contributes to your success. Yes. I think that's it.
attorney.
Yeah, this kind of issue or topic had been talked about the past many years already.
Yeah.
For me, the benefits are obvious. The need is there. The benefits are there. But I think what contributed to probably the lack of, I wouldn't say willingness, but the lack of action to implement a decentralized bar is, number one, we haven't had a feasibility study on the matter. There were efforts, there were initiatives, but I don't think it had been completed. I don't know for sure, I'm not with the association of those schools, the dean is, but my understanding is that I think the Supreme Court, which has overall supervision in the bar exam, is still asking the deans and the law schools to provide the Supreme Court the necessary data to support the study, and that therefore they can come up with a feasibility study whether it will really work. Logistically, it may pose a problem.
Right.
One, security in the bar exam questions. How will you deliver the question? Should it be by email or physical? Secondly, how many actually are have decided to take the bar exam in, let's say, Cebu or Davao, and how many will decide to take the bar in Manila, and so Supreme Court wouldn't know how much budget will be allocated for a particular regional exam. So,
and they also have to deploy personnel. Yeah.
Yes, and especially, for example, if you have a bar exam here in Cebu for Region 7, there was a study before involving all those schools in the Visayas. Apparently, the result was not good because those coming from Bacolod, Iloilo, Negros, Samar, Leyte, they opted to, they rather said that they would opt for a bar exam in Manila if they will still be traveling to Cebu to take the bar exam. So that really posed a problem. Easier for them to go to Manila than to go to Cebu because anyway, they would still be out of their, as they call, comfort zone.
Yeah.
So that posed a problem because we expected those law schools to support the decentralized
Because I
setup.
remember last year there was a signature campaign among law schools in the Visayas.
In Visayas.
Yeah, but that did not reach the quota given by the Supreme Court.
That's the one that I mentioned. The result was not very much supportive to the dissent, but
Okay.
the sentiment is there. The idea is it must be decentralized. Maybe the problem is
How to go
what
about
what
it.
kind of decentralized bar exam really is fit for those who are outside Metro Manila.
I see. Interesting points. But hopefully, for the best, for the benefit of everyone, we can finally make it work one of these
Yeah.
days. Hopefully. Okay, let's go a little lighter. we're done with the bar exam. We can finally breathe and perhaps rest. Do you have any legal drama that you watch on TV or favorite movies that perhaps inspire you to push through law school? How to Get Away with Murder is my personal favorite. I don't know.
I watched that.
I also watched that.
Yeah. I watched How to Get Away with Murder and Suits.
Suits, yeah. Very interesting developments.
And very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
During law school, I wasn't really much into legal dramas. I watched How to Get Away with Murder and Suits a few times, but I didn't really follow it. Just recently, after the bar exam, I got interested in this legal drama entitled The Good Wife.
Oh yes, yes.
The Good Wife.
Very nice also, yeah.
I was my office mates were watching that drama. My office mates in Accra were also my batchmates, Gian and Shania. They influenced me into watching that, and I kind of liked it because it's like the star there is a woman.
Yeah.
And she's a very good lawyer, and I really like how she carries herself in court. It's very litigation oriented.
Right.
So
right.
I'm liking that.
Yeah.
that.
And the dynamic between her being a lawyer and being a wife, and a mother to her kids.
Yes, yes. It just shows that a woman really plays many roles in society, and even if you're a woman playing all those roles, you can be a very successful litigator.
Right,
It's
right.
a really nice legal drama.
That's right. Leland, what about you?
I don't have that much aspiration for the characters, but my favorite for the legal dramas, I watched How to Get Away with Murder and Suits as well.
Yeah.
But I just watched it after the bar exam. Actually, I cramped
Okay.
all over the seasons for that. When I was in law school, or even during the bar review, because I want a comedy to lighten up the mood after every day of review. I watched Friends or
Oh,
How I
yeah?
Met Your Mother.
Yeah, yeah.
But I just watched these legal dramas after the bar exam.
What about you, attorney? I'd like to include you in the conversation because in the 90s, for
Yeah.
example, very interesting legal drama on TV, Boston Legal, and all those things. Yes.
During our time, we didn't have much legal dramas easily accessible. Unlike now, you have internet.
Yeah.
We didn't have internet during our time. But yes, I'm a big fan of Boston Legal. Probably all episodes I've watched already.
13 seasons, if I'm not mistaken. 10 or 13 seasons.
That's
yeah.
right, until the last, yes. And I was introduced to Shark, a story about a prosecutor. And of course, I'm a big fan of John Grisham, so
Oh,
those
yeah.
movies, novels of John Grisham that were
Made
made
into
to
movies.
movies, I
Right.
probably watched almost all of them.
What's your favorite, sir?
A Time
Mine
to
is A
Kill.
Time to Kill.
Yeah, that's right. A Time to Kill was the best.
That's right, that's right.
Pelican Brief was
Oh yeah, yeah. That's true. So this is how you unwind to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Bar Topnotchers. Okay, let's go back a little serious. If there's something that you would want to change in our legal system, what would it be? Sounds very beauty pageant, no?
Yes, it's a nice universe. That's hard.
That's very hard.
Or another option would be if there is a law that you think should be changed or is already outdated that you think should be amended to suit the times. Do you know of any law, perhaps?
I would say our taxation law, but because we already have train law now and there's a series of packages now coming out, the government has already implemented changes, major changes in our tax law. So when I was in law school, I really thought there should be some changes in our tax laws. They are already not in tune with the times. So I thought that yes, major reform should be made, especially in the granting of exemptions. Because basically now earnings are different from the amounts of earnings before, and that's already being addressed now, fortunately, in our trade law. So yeah, I think I'm good already with my wanting these reforms in taxation.
Do you think the trade law is beneficial to the masses in particular?
I think generally it's beneficial. I mean, overall it is a positive development. I really think so.
Fingers crossed. Let's keep our
Yes,
fingers crossed.
yes. I am
What
keeping
about you
fingers
guys?
I'll leave taxation to the CPAs.
Right.
I think a few aspects of civil law, criminal law, and negotiable instruments law, they are outdated, so they need updates.
For example,
I don't know if you're familiar with negotiable instruments law, but it's the law on like promissory notes, checks. The only thing practical is the law on checks, and we were to be honest, while we were in law school, we were not even familiar with the documents we talked about in negotiable instruments law. Only checks. So I think there needs to be an overhaul of negotiable instruments law.
nice.
Yes, just like what May said, it's a taxation law, though right now it's currently being updated by the introduction introduction of the Trade Act. Currently, we're in package 1A, and then there will be package 1B, 2, 3, and 4 later on, which will be enacted by Congress. So, wish granted on the part of my mind as well as me. Yes. And also, I agree with her. It's really the civil law, criminal law, and negotiable instruments law. The antiquity of these laws, especially in the negotiable instruments law, just gives headache to students. These are not anymore in tune with the times. Also in criminal law, because I actually had a paper in Virtus where I explained that the scale of penalties needs to be adjusted according to the consumer price index of the times.
I see. Okay.
For me, for example, in cases involving crimes against property, there is a certain level of penalty per level of price that was stolen or that was swindled. So the amounts there, let's say for example 2,000 pesos, was the amount in 1932. So for example, right now, if you steal, for example, 2,000 pesos in 1932, it will be, you just imagine the value of that thing in 2018.
Yeah.
So there may be some sort of injustice there. And that's what I would like to have a change, at least some indexation in the scale of penalties there in the revised penal code.
Very nice. Many lessons for me tonight. What about the attorney? You've seen the judicial system quite longer than these guys.
Yes, I was about to say that I've been in the legal profession for quite some time. What I can say is, if we talk about the existing laws, it's given that they also have to be changed. But my opinion really is not much on the substance of the law, but it's really on how we think about them. Because the way we think about laws, Philippine laws for example, more often than not, probably some have not realized this. It's more of how to get away with the law, how the law can be utilized for some evil purposes and all. And sometimes even laws are not aligned with the policy of the government. A lot of our laws have been the product of political compromises. And so what I can say is there isn't much about the substance of the law that should be changed, but it's more on the way we think about laws. So maybe we should rethink that part more than on the substance. I do believe that laws can be changed depending on how we think about the law themselves. And that's one of the problems that we are dealing right now. And in the University of San Carlos, we're trying to help also students think about the laws a little bit differently from the way others think on the ground. So we have some special courses, special issues on constitutional law, special issues in public international law, and we have some special courses just to show to the students that there are dimensions in the law that should be given importance as well, and in the process we're trying to help them also think differently. I hope that this new breed of lawyers will also try to initiate to think differently about our laws themselves.
That's very enlightening. Thank you, attorney. Who do you guys look up to in the legal profession aside from attorney Daryl and Dean Joan? It can be here local or international. Who are your idols in the legal profession, if you have any?
Well, aside from Dean, John, and Sir Darrell, it will be the famous Miriam Defensor.
We all miss her.
Yes. I like her. And aside from her knowledge about substantive law, because she's really brilliant, she's not afraid to speak her mind. She's not afraid to be different. Even if she knows that she will get criticisms and that she's the only one who has this opinion and others have a different opinion, she will still say it. She says what she believes, and she acts. She acts on it. She's consistent on it. She's one of those I really look up to. So I say, this is how lawyers should be. Lawyers should not be afraid to speak their mind. Lawyers should implement changes. Lawyers should be able to influence others positively. So they should be confident. They should be stern. They should have their own decisions, fixed decisions. Yes, I look up to them. Aside from my family members who are also lawyers, who I see as really hardworking and dedicated in their craft, and yeah, I look up to them.
Good one.
I also idolize Miriam Defensor Santiago, but to bring it a little closer to home, I also look up to the professors here in the University of San Carlos,
Of course,
because I don't think I think it's one of the factors that we are pushed to continue in law school, to continue to aspire to become lawyers, because we see them and it's they're right in front of you, so it's
Setting the examples.
yeah, and it's closer, so and you see them, and you see their principles, and you see how they appreciate the law, how they share their understanding of the law with the students. So I'd like to appreciate the effect they had on us while we were still in law school, and I'm just not gonna name them.
No problem. Roland.
I really don't have a particular legal personality who's my idol, but I could say that the lawyers I meet, each of them have a different effect or influence in my life. And it, for example, in my law professors, their success helps me aspire to keep improving myself every day as a law student, or now as a lawyer. And that's why I idolize especially those lawyers or my professors, for example, who really are so dedicated, and those professors who value sharing their knowledge. Because here in the University of San Carlos, not to be so stereotype or what do you call that, but we're always taught that knowledge should be shared. It should not be kept.
I agree.
What we have, we share. And that's my personal motto in life as well. So, not to be so cliche about it, but my professors of law here in the College of Law, you can say that they're also my idols, because if you come to think about it, it can also be considered as a trade secret, for example, for them, but they're so willing to share it. And truly, I could be so proud of a Carolina because I have these professors and now my pañeros in the profession of law.
Attorney, what kind of fulfillment does that give you hearing statements like that from former
Yes,
students?
yeah, we thank our students for that. Indeed, we're trying our best to really stay as role models to them, and it would probably add pressure also to us, because we really have to, maintain that image as well. And I thank them for looking up to us as well.
Attorney Daryl, congratulations to the law
Thank you,
school. And of course, to the three of you,
Thank you.
congratulations
Thank you.
on first and foremost passing the bar,
Thank you.
and of course by being included in the top 10. Our guests in this edition of the Freeman Conversation, of course, we have the number 2 in the 2017 bar examination, Christiane May Balili. We have number 4, Ivan Del Rey Hisoler, and of course, in 7th place, Roland Servacio, all from the University of San Carlos School of Law and Governance. You will be taking your oath on June
June 1.
June 1. And after that, of course, in your future endeavors, we wish you, the three of you, and of course the law school, the very, very best of luck. Thank you very much for joining us. And to all of you guys for joining us in this edition of the Freeman Conversations. Join us again next time as we continue to pay tribute to everyone who makes Cebu proud. I'm Jobert Ocao, online editor of the Freeman. See you again next time here on the Freeman Conversations.